Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king. Joining me is my co-producer, the man, the myth, the legend. It is Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
What up, guys?
Hey. Also joining us,
it's a little weird.
It is weird, huh?
Without the drop.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I almost said the drop myself.
I mean, you can.
Called partner time. Called partner, but it should be called gangster time.
There you go. I can't do mine. Mine requires an entire orchestra and a choir doing Hail Britannia. But also joining us, it is my co-producer, my brother. It is Edgelord Big News Brian.
I tell you big news.
Yeah.
That was fire.
That was pretty good.
That was elite.
Yeah, good job, Brian.
That sounded like the drop.
It was pretty good. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We are kind of doing another audio only episode. The status on my computer is that it is dead. So right now I'm still working off of my temporary workstation until I can just get a new computer. But the show's still gonna come at you. Very excited to do it. I also got a new phone, which means I didn't realize that there was no headphone jack in it until like a few minutes before it started recording. So there'll be no soundboard for this episode either. But next week the soundboard will be back in full force. And I don't know, maybe we could do our own sound effects as we go forward. That'll be a fun exercise. But you know, it'll be the same old show. We have a very short show today. Only 3 manga. Because it feels like half of Jump took off. So we're only covering 3 series. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into plugs. You can find me at the Chris Aspinall on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole _37. That's on Instagram. And at New Jump City Josh on Twitter.
Oh, yes. Brian?
Yeah.
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, find me at twitch.tv/.
Hell yeah. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. We used to do a really good chapter of the week poll there, but we did not. So we do it on the YouTube community now, which you guys can take part in by subscribing to the YouTube. Please do that. That would be super cool if you did. You get access to the poll, or you get updated when the poll is out. It's usually out on Sundays when the official release of the series come out on Shonen Jump's website. We didn't do it this week because I've been kind of busy trying to maneuver a way around this temporary workstation I'm working on. But next week it'll be back. We're hoping to get video back next week too. So yeah, please subscribe to us on YouTube. Keep that algorithm going because we're going to need it for the next couple weeks, I imagine. If you prefer audio podcasts, though, don't hesitate to subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. We're everywhere, and every single episode we've ever done is up there. So please do that. It's usually the fastest way to get at the pod because that's where I upload first. So yeah, you know the deal. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and that would be super cool. I think that's the end of plugs right now. So without further ado, let's get the show started with One Piece, chapter 1077. Should have noticed sooner. The title page is back. The cover page story featuring Judge and Vegapunk and Caesar Clown and all that stuff, and it's actually taking place in the present now, as we see both Judge and Caesar Clown seem to have calmed down from their infighting to realize that actually, I think Vegapunk is a real problem, and I don't know what that means, but it should be interesting because maybe they'll pull up to Egghead, not knowing what's waiting for them there. Really, um,
Is this them fighting? Was this them fighting in the current?
yeah, this is the present because you could see Ichiji and Reiju back there. So
Right. 'Cause he didn't have his children yet. Duh.
yeah, and he has his mask on and all that stuff. So
Yeah. Oh, actually, I really didn't pay attention to those details.
yeah, so I don't know. Maybe they're hinting that Caesar and Judge will pull up to Egghead. I think that'd be interesting. Meanwhile, we open up the chapter in the Fabrio phase on Egghead, where we see Sentomaru talking, I guess, to the citizens of Egghead, basically
Yeah.
asking them to evacuate the island because he knows what time it is. And we get a refresher on the history of Ohara, where Robin is from, and what all that shit that went down there once the government realized that they were looking into poneglyphs and the history of the world of Void Century, all that stuff. And Sentomaru is like, that shit's about to happen here probably. So, you know, they're coming for us. He mentions that they probably concluded that he must be erased regardless to the cost of scientific progress, because he's been,
Regardless.
yeah, they don't. It's too the risk is too great, even with all the benefits that he could theoretically bring to the world government.
Yeah, they're pressed.
Yeah, and he says that something even worse than the Buster Call can happen right now. So, sheesh.
Well, you know what that is.
A
Well, it could be
Buster
two
Call
things.
times 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess
Yeah,
well, the Admiral's
nah.
already pulling up, so it's already on the level of a Buster Call, I would say.
Right.
Meanwhile, we cut over back to the battle between Luffy, Lucci, Zoro, and Kaku versus the Hawkeye and Kuma Seraphim. And they're just like kind of trading blows with them. They're giving them their best shot, but the Seraphim don't seem to be all that affected by the attacks. Luffy starts to get frustrated, and then Zoro starts to realize, like, oh, these guys kind of remind me of King. And Shaka is like, oh, Kaido had a Lunarian, and Zoro's like, I don't know what that shit was called. I don't know what that. But basically, Shaka explains that these are things we kind of knew, but he confirms that King, aka Albert, was a test subject that escaped from Punk Hazard with Kaido. So, and it confirms that what we can pretty much guess by context clues here is that the Seraphim are augmented with his Lunarian blood, so they have all the same abilities that King does, which Zoro is very familiar with, and he just starts to explain what their deal is. Like, oh, wow, I didn't realize. In that case, watch the flames on their backs. Your attacks won't do anything unless the flames are out. They're basically invincible when it's on. And Lucci's like, damn, this helps. Now we can actually fight them now. And Zoro starts to list off a bunch of the other attributes of Lunarians, and they're just taken aback that Zoro didn't realize this sooner and didn't warn them of this. But anyway, the battle just starts up again. Shaka starts to walk off. He starts to realize that he has an idea of where the Stella might be, where the original Vegapunk is. The Mihawk Seraphim tries to attack him, but Zoro blocks him. And with that, we are left over to where Nami is, Nami and Brook, and Edison, the Edison satellite. And they're all fighting the Jinbei Seraphim. So Nami's just basically psyching her up to attack Jinbei Seraphim, despite the fact that he's a child, because Nami has a soft spot for kids. And she basically just like, he is not cute. He is not a child. And what's the fucking cloud's name? Zeus.
Yeah.
Zeus is basically like, just charge me up. don't hesitate. I'll fight if you can't. And she basically like put some pretty harsh damage on the Jinbei Seraphim with the Zeus attack, which makes sense. That's a part of Big Mom's soul. You would think that that would be enough to fell a Seraphim for or hurt a Seraphim at least. Um
Mm.
so Jinbei Seraphim sinks into the ground with the swim ability, that would allow him to swim on any surface. Um Brooke peeps this, and he warns Nami that he may just attack from another place, and that he does. He basically just swims up right behind her and loads up another attack. But then he is also intercepted by Sanji, and
Drop it.
yeah, gave him the drop kick of death. Um, and yep, Sanji's back. He's fighting the Jinbei Seraphim. Meanwhile, in Building C, we see Lilith and Usopp and Frankie up against the Boa Hancock Seraphim. Um, Lilith actually manages to fell the Boa Hancock Seraphim using a bubble gun made out of sea energy. So it basically is a kryptonite to an extent because the sea energy counteracts the devil fruit abilities that make up the blood of the seraphim. So they get all the risk, but they get all the rewards of the devil fruit, but they also can't swim and are weak to sea stuff. So makes sense.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, at that point, Frankie tries to like hold her down, but she immediately recovers, mostly because the bubble just grazed her. So it didn't. It wasn't enough to like take her down for real. And she starts shooting her lasers everywhere. But Frankie comes up and like basically grabs one of the bubbles and just pins her down with it. And uh they're like, "Yeah, you did it, Frankie. Good fucking shit, bro." The Boa Hancock Seraphim looks at him with like sad little girl eyes. Is like, "But it hurts." And that immediately makes Frankie back up. He's like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry." And Boa Hancock seizes the opportunity and turns Frankie into stone. Um, we also see her work her magic on Usopp and Lilith. They are also stonified. And we end the chapter with a scene where Shaka actually finds the old Devil Fruit research lab. And he's also taken aback by the Cypherpole agents that are trapped there, and also the main body of the Vegapunk that's there. And he starts to move to release them, but at that point Vegapunk is like, "Shaka, who came with you?" And Shaka's like, "Wait, what?" And then bang, Shaka gets shot through the fucking head, and he is killed, I guess. Drama music here, and that's where the chapter ends. Holy shit. That Josh,
Okay.
what did you think about One Piece chapter 1077?
Um, let's eliminate some people right now. So obviously, Shaka didn't shoot himself in the head unless that's him from the future or himself from the past shot a bullet into the future. Shout out to Final
To kill
Crisis.
himself?
Yeah. I mean that maybe. Who knows? But I'm gonna assume that that's not the case. Um, it wasn't any of the people fighting because they're fighting right now,
Yeah, they're not there
right?
physically, no.
So that leaves the evil girl shooting bubbles.
She's with them. She got turned to stone.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. So that's her. Like she's eliminated as well.
Mhm.
We haven't seen York in a while.
Who's that?
York is the one that eats the gluttony one. I don't know.
Yes, I'm telling you. Yep, the sleepy one. That's the one. That's the spy. It's got to be because I had no idea it'd be her
Hmm.
because she had no function but to eat and sleep.
I think so, right? Yeah, she basically like takes care of his like sustenance, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's a theory going
Um,
around that the shooter is actually the Doflamingo Seraphim.
Oh, that would be sick.
Oh, that would be. Yeah, that would be pretty sick. They didn't
Because there
reveal the
should be a
spy yet.
Doflamingo one, right?
Yep,
Somewhere.
technically, there should be a Doflamingo Seraphim.
I
I
mean,
mean, you
are
know, it
all the
wouldn't be crazy
seraphims
if they
there?
did, huh?
Are all the seraphims supposed to be there?
I would think so.
Not all of them, I think.
Yeah, I
They
don't
could
know.
all be there, but
There could be a
There's
Moria
Doflamingo.
one. There could be a
That's what
Moria.
I'm
There could
saying.
be a
Maybe there's a Moria
crocodile.
one. Maybe there's a crocodile one.
oh
Maybe there's
yeah,
a
crocodile one.
If you're taking into consideration that all the Seraphim are former and
buggy
current
one.
warlords, then yeah, it would track that maybe there is, because if they have a Jinbei Seraphim, then there's nothing to stop it from having one from Doflamingo, one for Crocodile, one for Blackbeard potentially. Who knows? But the
By the
possibility
way,
Right,
do
he
you
was a
guys
warlord too for a little while.
it could be
you guys
Jay
think-
Garcia.
do you guys think Frankie was only
He was a
half
warlord?
turned to stone?
Huh?
Do you think Frankie was only turned half to stone because he's half robot?
Well, he's only, I think he's fully a robot at this point, but I could be wrong. But the only part of Frankie that is like a robot from pre-time skip is his back. Oh, it's his front. His back is human still.
How come he only turned like half to stone?
I think because she didn't get all of him. I guess like it's kind of the same thing. She just grazed him.
Interesting.
I don't think it only got half of him. I think it was starting to spread.
Mm,
I think that was just the
that's definitely a possibility.
yeah. I think it was just in the, like it was caught in the process of spreading.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it looks like Sanji unlocked his soldier gene again because his eyebrow changed position.
Oh, you did. Wow. Yeah, he did. It did change. I didn't even peep that. Yeah, I guess he could just tap into that now. I love how it just like
Wait,
Probably
switches.
by
what?
accident.
Huh?
Like I
What do you,
don't.
what do you have mean?
He did it by accident.
You
but
know,
isn't this
Sanji,
what he didn't want to happen?
I think he could just tap into that power now, and he's just using it because is he not going to use it?
I thought the suit was the only way for him to get into.
No,
it,
he destroyed the suit. He destroyed his stealth suit. But Josh, to clarify, whenever Sanji taps into like the half cyborg type thing that like the rest of his family has, his eyebrow,
Germa buff.
yeah, his Germa buff, his eyebrow switches sides. You could see that in that big panel where he drop kicks the Jinbei Seraphim.
Yeah.
The eyebrow is facing one way, and then when you zoom into him next, you see that the eyebrow is facing the other way. And that's usually a sign that he is using like the enhancements that his father did to him when he was young.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Forgot that about his eyebrows.
Yeah, it's kind of a subtle detail, like in when he first unlocked it. Like they don't draw a lot of attention to it. You just kind of see it. But yeah, that's interesting. But
Brian, did you have any points that stood out?
What?
Did you have any points from the manga that stood out to you?
No, not really. Those were the only things that really stuck out to me.
Then. Okay.
yeah, this chapter felt like it went by really quickly. And it's like a standard size chapter, but it felt.
I
like
think
it went
Lilith
really
might be the only Vegapunk to survive, though.
You think?
Yeah, I think so because she's turned to stone right now, so they can't really kill her.
Well, they could break her stone body.
Yeah, but I feel like they're setting up the fact that they're gonna rescue her and 3. I think what's gonna happen in his head release them, and she's gonna do it.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Because-
You were like breaking up a little bit.
I think Luffy's gonna command the Boa Hancock Seraphim to let them go, and she's gonna do it because she loves Luffy. And they're gonna escape with Lilith. Lilith is gonna be the only one to make it out alive. That's my theory.
Okay. There's some validity to what Brian's saying, because I noticed that at least her Seraphim has a lot of personality.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I don't
like
think
I think she's the only Seraphim that has said a word yet, right?
I think so too. I don't think the other
yeah,
ones have
that
spoken.
wasn't like a grunt.
She's the only one that spoke.
I have spoken.
Yeah.
But those are my thoughts.
Yeah. I like this chapter quite a bit. It wasn't my RGC this week, to be honest. But it was a fun read. I feel like things are just progressing. I am excited to find out who done it with the whole Shaka situation, and who's like on this island causing trouble. It could be
This
just
arc has a lot going on.
It does. It really does. Lots of things are colliding at once and very quickly.
In a good way.
Yeah, no, it's great. Very excited. I'm so glad that it's not off next week. Like Oda didn't pull like this, because this would be like a twist where Oda is like, "I'm off next week. Enjoy waiting for that." But he did not. He spared us today.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. But yeah, I also don't have all that many thoughts in the chapter. Outside of, I think the likely thing is that maybe there's another Seraphim here causing shit, and maybe that's the spy. Or the person that's been causing trouble here, because it would make sense if it was a Seraphim that lives on this island normally, and if the five elders have ultimate control over them, it would make sense that a Seraphim would be here fucking shit up.
Well, why would he use a gun?
Because Doflamingo
'Cause
uses a
it's
gun.
Cool.
That's the main thing that makes people think that it's a Doflamingo Seraphim, is that they did use a gun. Because Doflamingo makes it a point to shoot people if he hates them enough. Like, he won't even use his powers on them. He'll just straight shoot them.
And how you know it's not somebody with the gun fruit?
Because the person with the gun
Seraphim
fruit.
that has the gun fruit.
Oh, that's possible.
Yeah.
What if the Doflamingo one has a gun fruit?
That's what I'm saying. It could be. It could be that instead of him actually using a handgun, they use the power, which is why they use the gun.
That's entirely possible. But yeah, that's really all I have. Is just kind of the speculation. I hope Shaka's not dead. He's got a great design. I mean, he's basically one of the Daft Punk guys, but great design regardless.
You have a favorite Daft Punk song?
Say that again, guys.
Do you have a favorite Daft Punk song?
There's a few. I mean, really, like, they're
a few.
Yeah. Stuff, almost anything off their like last album that they did before they
I couldn't name a Daft Punk song if someone put a gun in my head and said name a Daft Punk song or die.
It's
over for me.
No,
Get
you know
Lucky,
them.
Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger.
Get Lucky is Daft Punk?
Yeah.
Celebrate. Wait.
No,
that was not them. I was thinking of One More Time. One More Time.
Want to celebrate.
Oh yeah. All right.
That's
Stop
Punk?
Yeah, that's Daft Punk.
dancing.
What?
One more time.
That's fucking awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're great.
Whoa.
Hey. Yeah. Well, now you can. Now, if
One
anybody.
more time, got to celebrate. Yo, that's my shit.
Yeah.
All right. What? Hold on. That came out when I was married. How old are these guys? How long? They've been out for
They've been around for a long time.
Yeah, they've
but
been
they
out for a
stopped,
while, like since the
a few years
90s,
ago.
like late 90s.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they disbanded a long time ago.
They disbanded, maybe like 5 years ago, maybe. at this
Yo,
point.
remember the video for that song? It was like in space or something like that. That shit
Actually,
was
I don't know
crazy.
their videos.
Yeah,
but
they have a lot. They have a lot of classics. A lot of classics.
yeah.
Wow.
And now Oda has killed one of them.
All right, since we don't have any drops, can someone do an Owen Wilson? Wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just learned about Daft Punk. Wow.
I just learned about
Yeah.
Daft Punk.
That's literally me right now. Owen Wilson learning about Daft Punk.
Yeah. All right. Well, are we ready to move onward then?
I suppose so.
Brian, any final rebuttals, anything? Brian?
Anything?
I'll take that as a no. And just move onward to Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 216, Bath. Last we left off.
Oh God. Oh man.
Yeah. Last we left
This
off.
is nasty.
Everything escalated so fast, as things do in Jujutsu Kaisen. Everything went to shit so fast I got whiplash. And basically Sukuna's back and has possessed the body of Megumi Fushiguro. Sumiki Fushiguro was possessed by another ancient sorcerer known as Yorozu. And she is looking to fight Sukuna, so you know it all just kind of like comes together here. Itadori has been handily defeated by Sukuna, and Maki was effectively held back. They didn't really fight a battle to the end, but knowing Sukuna, he probably would have won that fight at some point because he was being held back by Megumi in the first place. So had that not been a thing, he would have finished the fight a lot sooner probably. And
Yeah.
Sukuna left the battle, left Itadori alive because he thought it was hilarious how sad he looked, and flew away with the ice sorcerer person, Urume. And they talked about preparing a bath. And in this chapter, we obviously learn what that means. But the chapter first starts off with with Urume standing before a bunch of cursed spirits that are frozen, as Kenjaku just mentions that he's going to finish the calling game, because he can't merge Tengen with humanity until he ends it. And Urume is like, well, you're the one who designed the game to continue forever,
right?
And yeah, I guess this is where like the wording of this is confusing, but I think the nature of the calling
Would
game.
you like me to translate it to you in layman's terms?
Yeah.
Okay, basically, you guys think y'all gonna catch me in a plot hole, but I have explanations. And I'm gonna tease you guys because I'm not gonna give you the explanations yet. But I am gonna talk about this dirty bath.
Yeah, I mean,
that was like the first 2 pages, right?
Yeah.
You thought that you could catch me off guard, but of course
You
I've
thought.
thought of everything.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
That girl? Oh, that boy, which I don't know. I think it's the guy. I think the
Yeah.
twins, it's the boy and the girl, right? I think that's the guy. He is manga cynicism. He's us and other personalities
Yeah.
that critique and review these. Let's just say review. We review and react to these.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna take it personal, and neither should y'all.
I agree. In any case,
But at the same time, fuck you, Gigi. Oh, how about that? No hard feelings.
No hard feelings, but fuck you.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So, like, the little mini explanation we get here is that Kenjaku, in order to establish such an insane game, he had to take a binding vow to end what was permanent. With what? We don't know yet. What was the vow? I don't know yet. But I imagine that's going to get explained because, like, Urume is not particularly interested in this. So he's just like, well, what the fuck? Go do what you're going to do then. Bye. I got what I needed from you. And Kenjaku's like, okay, fine, but I am interested in the bath. And bro, this bath is crazy. What happened with the bath is a ritual for turning a vessel that is cherished as a family treasure into a cursed tool to protect it from external threat. So it means 10 months and 10 days of soaking the vessel in a solution with cursed energy obtained by crushing a choice selection of venomous creatures. So basically, Urume has gathered a bunch of cursed spirits and blended them, like put them in a Vitamix or something, and just like just flooded a room with their blood, I guess, and their cursed energy.
It's
And
so much worse than that, though. It's so much worse than what you're describing.
yeah,
It's
okay.
the way he went about it.
Yeah, basically he explains that like he turned, because cursed spirits when they're killed, they turn to dust. So he had to preserve he has to preserve their body. He froze them and carefully
Freezes their head.
carefully wrung out each curse. So that they could just like soak him in the curse's blood and shit.
They basically kept them alive by like one part of their body, by the top part of their body,
Mhm.
and dissected and mutilated the rest of it while they were still alive, so that it would be fresh and moist, all the insides,
Yeah.
to create this bath of nasty. I don't have words. I don't have a title to make out of this or anything like that, TBH, guys. I was overwhelmed.
Okay, so Kenjaku's like, what's the point in soaking in it? And it's basically to be near evil and to submerge Megumi Fushigoro's soul. So
That sounds horrible.
the long and short of it is to basically drown out Megumi so that Sukuna will have full control over his body. And we see that Kenjaku's been in this for a while, and he rises from the weird blood thing. He's completely naked, and he gets robed up, and Kenjaku's like, "You're keeping that visage?" He's like, "For now. This is better for fighting sorcerers." I guess like by that visage he means like the form of Megumi, I guess. You know what's funny around
Could
like
you say that maybe he's planning to make a new body?
no.
Planning to leave Megumi's body?
No,
at some
I mean
point
that
for a
implies that he
stronger
can
one?
change his shape, so he wouldn't have to leave Megumi's body to be somebody else. That he can change how he looks at will. Anyway,
I don't know if that's what they mean.
I think so.
The way I took it was that, like, it's not about this being the best form. Well, it is. It's that this is the form he prefers. Like, he could go for something different if he pleased, but he prefers this form. Therefore, he's not going to go for it. It's more plot conjecture. It's more.
Yeah, we don't know why he's doing this exactly.
Just putting some cement on the walls, man, to make sure there's no holes anywhere. That's how I took that.
Yeah, no, that makes
Am I
sense.
being too reactionary?
Hey, I mean, there's no way I can't. I don't know really. But one of the things we do notice is that he seems to have this little cut on his finger. That seems to be concerning to him, and I wonder why. I don't know. Maybe it means that the vessel is breaking in some way. But upon seeing this cut, he's like, "Kogane, where's Sumiki Fushiguro?" And we see that she's in Sendai, and that's basically because Yorozu is from Aizu, which is in the area of Sendai. It looks like it's where she, I guess that's where she lived, in her time, and Sukuna is, I guess, going off to fight her, and Kenjaku's like, "Why are you gonna go fight her? I mean, I thought you'd ignore her. It's always been one-sided between you two." And Megumi's like, "Yorozu doesn't matter, but the vessel does." And basically, he plans to kill Yorozu while she's still in Sumiki's body to completely bury Megumi Fushiguro. So that's
The bath wasn't enough.
no, this is just to really like crush him. If he makes it, I guess that's why he's keeping the body, you know, like so if he kills his sister in his body, that's pretty fucked up. That would probably make Megumi lose all hope. But anyway, I guess Kenjaku offers to give Sukuna a ride, and at that point we see the other sorcerers that we've seen around the culling game, the Sky Lady and man, I feel like I remembered this guy's name for a second and then I forgot it. But Pompadour Head, Pompadour Cannon Man. They're
I'll find his name.
I think it's Ishigori, maybe. But anyway, he's like, no, this is way too sweet. And yeah, they know what
Didn't they
time.
get killed already?
No, they didn't die. They were spared, I think. But yeah, the King of Curses is here, and Ishigori, I think that's his name, but he comes across Sukuna, and
Yeah, it's Ishigori.
I knew it. And basically they're like they step to each other, and Sukuna's like, "You're gonna step aside or not?" And he just basically immediately cuts Ishigori, setting him back, and Megumi's like, "Hey, what's the deal? I wanted you to slice you in 3. You're not so bad. But this, sorry for underestimating you. This time, I'll fight for real." Ishigori loads up a Pompadour Cannon attack, but unfortunately, this is Sukuna, and he chops fucking Ishigori's head into 3 separate sections, and kills Ishigori. I guess he's gone. Insert Mario sound effect, Mario death sound effect here. He's dead. And we cut over to a soccer field where we see Yorozu just waiting already. She's like, switch skins, huh? He's like, yeah, that smug's more handsome. And that's where the chapter ends, assuming we are going to get a Sukuna versus Yorozu fight next week. And that is very exciting. But Josh, what do you think about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 216?
I guess this is it, man. Fushiguro is out of the picture for the time being.
Oh, yeah.
Man, did I not see this coming even a little bit?
Right?
Everything shifted. The whole
So quickly too, with no like and not
Alright.
not in a negative way, but no build up. You know, like
even before they were on that rooftop talking about what the plan, like setting the plans, everything prior was building towards something. Just for them to be like, for them to say, okay, now the plans are going to be this. So right as we was gearing up to adjust to a different agenda, we get hit with this. So man, what an impact! I feel like I got hit by media.
Yeah.
Excuse me, guys. I'm discombobulated. But I will say this. Sorry, I'm scrolling to the back. When they explained the contents of this bath, right? I stared at this picture for a long time. It's on page 4. Did you guys take a moment to look at the contents of this, the collection inside of this?
Yeah,
I don't
there's like
even know what to call
bugs
it.
and bones
Yeah,
and skulls.
bear paw.
Oh, that's just a bear paw in there.
It gives me the shivers.
Yeah, it's very
And then
creepy.
it's just leaking the juice of that.
Ugh.
And I just imagined, like, for $1 million, would you take a shot of that?
A shot?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Well, given that the whole point of that is to just like make you evil,
Yes.
I don't think it's good to digest it.
So what you're saying is you wouldn't.
I don't know. No, probably not.
What about for $1 billion?
Mm.
billion? Okay, you got me. I'm in.
Yeah, maybe
You
I'll do
had
it
me
for
at
$44
shabillion.
shabillion.
Yeah. See, now we're talking.
You had me at shabillion 100%.
Yeah. Well, he just got up from the bath. Yeah, this was a. I was really disappointed that this guy got his head cubed. No, not cubed.
Cubed.
Quartered. No, quartered is fours.
Yeah, thirded?
Thirded.
Thirded.
Is it thirded? Brian, can you look that up?
Thirded his head.
Thirded feels
He
wrong.
thirded his head.
I think thirded is right.
Thirded feels incorrect, but I don't know.
It feels like it's 3 parts of a head. So it's thirded.
He cake layered his face. That's
Yeah.
what he did.
Yeah.
And he just well like that. He even gave him the line, "I'll go serious on you since you took my hit." That like it wasn't. I don't know if Gigi meant to give him some type of respect with that line, but it didn't come off that way to me. It was like, oh, you're not a gnat in my way? Okay. Well, you're
Yeah.
still fodder. Fodder.
Fodder. Hey, to be fair, it
That
took
other girl's not even gonna come out to fight. She's gonna stay where she's
no,
at.
yeah, that would be wise of her to just chill where she's at.
She's
I don't know
not
why
bringing the
Ishigori
side
thought he
up.
could do something. I don't know why he pulled up there. Oh, I guess they were
I
separate.
think Sukuna pulled up to him. I don't know. Can I be honest? There's a version in my head that like they sense him, like they both sense him at the same time,
Mhm.
and then as he's like recoiling from how much pressure, he just looks in front of him and oh shit, Sukuna appeared and he's walking in front. I think that's what happened. I don't think he had time to decide what he was going to do about that sensation.
Mm.
That sensation.
Yeah.
This is my RGC, by the way.
Oh, yeah, same.
Josh.
No.
Josh.
Wow, not
Wow.
yours, huh?
Wow.
That's exciting.
You guys think we could get Owen Wilson to be a guest one of these days?
I mean, we could shoot for the stars.
I have his number. I'll call him.
I wouldn't mind hitting him up at some point. Hey, if we get like a certain amount of success on the podcast, if we have like say if we get on our 1,000th Patreon subscription, not Patreon, or on our 1,000th YouTube subscriber, I will dead send an email to Owen Wilson.
Bet he'd do it for $2 shabillion.
Yeah, it'll probably cost. It'll probably throw us into unsettling debt, but hey,
At our millionth, I'm gonna invite President Obama.
I mean, why not? In theory, we could have just like we could use AI to just make them come here. We could just use their voices.
That needs to happen.
Yeah.
We need.
What do you
We
think,
need to see
Owen?
this.
I might do that. I might
It's
do that next week.
imperative.
I might do that next week. I might try to do an AI. Owen Wilson explaining what he thinks about this week's manga.
We should all just be AI. Just pick one person and then
Yeah.
have Jet.
That'd be
Oh,
crazy.
dude.
LGBT talk for us.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea. I wouldn't hate doing that. We just pick somebody. I'm about to pick damn,
Have
who-
Joe Biden on the show.
Yeah.
Joe Byron.
All right. Well, whatever. Brian, what did you think about this chapter?
Well, it's my RGC, so obviously I liked it. End of discussion.
That's it?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Damn.
It was I fucking love Sukuna as a character, bro. Like every time he's on the screen, there's something about him that's just so fucking cool. Like imagine if what's his name? Kurama had this kind of fucking character, you know?
Yeah.
Like he definitely set himself apart from being just the dude who lives inside the character. you
Yeah.
know? Like there's no maybe he's a good guy. Maybe he's gonna be like a good guy. We could win him over. Nah, this dude is pure fucking evil. He doesn't give a fuck. And his control over Megumi does just give Itadori a lot more credit because he was essentially a prison for probably the strongest dude to ever live, who's up there at least.
Yeah.
So it's like if he had control over Itadori's body, this is exactly what would be happening to him too. But he couldn't. It was Itadori's just built different. So I'm really excited to see more of Sukuna doing his own thing and kind of being able to be a character, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being trapped inside of Itadori, we get to actually see him kind of do shit, which is
Yeah.
pretty awesome. That's it for me.
See, that's kind of part of the subversion of expectations because I wasn't ready for the power level to go up like this right now because that's what it feels like it's happening. And I wouldn't say that if I felt like, oh, it's just Sukuna pulling up to come wild out for a little while. It's the fact that he kind of was power skilled. Like they made a point to show that, oh, he's only at a tenth of his strength right now, even though it's clearly enough to solo the rest of the cast, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, man, there was a moment I thought maybe Okotsu would pull up and be like Sukuna and stop it.
Hey, that can
Yeah,
still
not
happen.
him.
Yeah, where is he right now?
I hope he doesn't pull up.
Where is Akotsu right now?
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'd rather Okotsu die than Rika. She must be protected.
Okay. Well, I think if one of them dies, at least if Okotsu dies, Rika dies.
Is Okotsu just like chilling somewhere? Like we haven't seen him in a while, right?
I don't remember what happened to him. I know he won his fight and then went somewhere, but I forgot where he was going.
The dude he beat got his ass murked before Okotsu even showed up. So where the fuck is he?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're setting up for him to pull up to this battle. How crazy would that be?
That would be sick. But this would be the second time he's in a 3-way fight.
That would be crazy.
He only turns up for battle royales, bro. This guy only comes for free for alls.
Yeah. Obviously this was also my really good chapter of the week. I love this chapter. I am loving the way that this is going. Jujutsu Kaisen is just chaotic energy at all times. You never know when the momentum's going to shift in a weird way. I don't know what anybody can do at this point, you know? Cuz everybody's like kind of disjointed and separate, and their plans just got royally fucked by Sukuna just emerging for a minute. So I don't know what the counter plan on their end is, but I would hope that we're gonna get basically a whole battle with Sukuna, like where he's fighting somebody who can actually stack up against him and give him a little bit of trouble, especially since he's only like got 15 fingers worth of power.
Except that this guy can't match up to him because
Yorozu?
Kenjaku said that it's always one-sided. So
No, I think he meant like the beef was one-sided, not necessarily that there's like a power. I mean, I'm sure Sukuna doesn't fear Yorozu, obviously. Like he's not really concerned about her abilities, but I think he meant more that he thought that he would ignore Yorozu because like their whole thing, he doesn't necessarily have a problem with her, but she has a problem with him.
Oh. Okay. I didn't know that. I thought they meant that every time they fought, he just mollywhopped every time.
Well, that could be a possibility for sure. I mean, you know, Sukuna is like built up to be one of, if not the strongest person in the verse. So outside of Gojo. So
I guess she got lucky that she possessed his sister.
Or it was intentional because Kenjaku purposefully like possessed people. So that could have been this could have been just like part of his plan is to get the circumstances to this point.
I don't know.
It could be.
He was surprised because she was surprised that he swapped to Megumi.
What do you mean?
She was like, "Oh, you're in a new skin."
Yeah, but like
you know?
Kenjaku was the one who put Yorozu in Sukumi's body.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, all of the ancient sorcerers are Kenjaku putting their like doing basically pulling a Sukuna into random people's bodies, or seemingly random.
But
But
but Kenjaku also said that he's surprised that he's even going to her.
yeah, no, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like maybe he didn't plan for this particular eventuality, but I
I
wonder
think
if
she just got lucky.
I'm wondering if there's a reason he put Yorozu in Sumiki's body, or was just like everybody gets a body, it doesn't really matter who. Um,
Everybody get a body.
you get a body, you get a body. Like Ishigori is an ancient sorcerer, and Kenjaku must have implanted his soul into whoever Ishigori was originally. Poor whoever Ishigori was originally. He just got sliced, and he was just a guy. Unless he's already dead, just because Ishigori. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have any more thoughts.
Maybe
Jujutsu.
he just marked those people, and random souls went into their bodies.
Well, the way he would do it is that he would have to feed. It's like the Sukuna finger thing. He would have to feed them a part of the ancient sorcerer in order to accomplish this type of thing.
Oh,
So he would have to purposefully like feed people.
I see.
Yeah. I just reread Jujutsu Kaisen, so I'm like still pretty fresh on what happened.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, those are all my thoughts. Jujutsu
Are
Kaisen is
you
incredible.
fresh on the Jujutsu Kaisen iceberg?
It's really good. Did you watch it?
Yes, I did. And you know that whole bath situation
Yeah.
kind of related to like this story that I remember the dude talked about that I guess Sukuna's kind of based on. It was like this creepy pasta that happened. That was like I guess the story was about the neighborhood that Gigi grew up in.
Mm.
About like this like this cursed thing. Like basically like the story goes like this father had like a conjoined twin
Mm.
like corpse and they like sealed it in a room and did a bunch of evil things like to it and made sacrifices for it and he killed the rest of the family in that room with it. It was just really weird. Like
Yeah.
basically he was trying to build up a bunch of cursed well I mean something similar to cursed energy and unleash it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's I guess Sukuna is like supposed to be based like on a conjoined twin or something like that.
Mm. Well,
I'll get back to it. I'll watch it again and get back to y'all on that. It was actually pretty crazy. I was hoping you would remember that part too and help build on that. But
yeah.
yeah, sick stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a real story, but it's not something that really happened. But
Yeah, it's just
man, is
like
that
a
crazy?
folk legend, I guess. All right. Well, I don't have much else to say about Jujutsu Kaisen. It's pretty incredible. You guys ready to move on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. And with that, we're going to close out here with Undead Unluck. And with that, I'm going to throw it over to Josh.
All right, we got Undead Unluck chapter 150. No More War by Yoshifumi Tozuka. So last week we seen the activation of creeds or undecreases negate ability, which is undecrease, and it was I guess I remember we had a lot of things to say about the nature of like his mission and how his ability unfolded. It was like kind of like awkward, but I think I think this week the author did a really good job at making more sense of it
Mm-hmm.
through his personality. But anyway, um, we start with Creed waking up to the rest of the gang letting them know what they're about, what the mission is. But before they could really get into detail, they start noticing that that the government that they are supposed to be working for started napalm in the forest while they were still in it, of course, because they're the worst people ever. Probably our own country. I digress. They start getting into the reason why they're going this hard, which is to get the weapon disc, and obviously they don't want anybody to know that the disc is a big deal, so they want to kill everybody. It sounds terrible when I think about like the step-by-step process of like what this guy's mission was, like what all these regular soldiers on the ground were supposed to be doing. They were all literally fodder. Like, I talk a lot of shit about Black Clover and even in Jujutsu Kaisen here and there, and then the other series about characters being fodder. But Jesus, imagine 3 different platoon forces being set up to be fodder. That's next level, bro.
Yeah.
These are the greatest villains I know.
Pure evil.
Yeah, and they're off screen. Anyway, let me stop talking all that shit. So, yeah, all right. So, yeah, Creed is mad. He's like, wasn't the whole point to decrease the number of these? And I guess that's kind of his moment where you're like, oh, I see what he's fighting for. He's going hard so that there'll be peace in the world, even though he's, I guess, really bad at portraying that in his personality and behavior.
Yeah.
But, we can't be perfect,
Yeah,
right?
he seems like he likes this shit.
Right. It was kind of, if I could read my tone, I really like this chapter, and I'm trying to figure out why I like it so much as I'm reading it again.
I think
here we are.
Well, I think
Yeah.
like because he felt like what he was doing was just at the time that he, I guess not took joy in it, but sits better with it than if he felt more righteous about it because this was supposed to be the thing that like lessens war. So
Yeah, kill a few to save, I guess,
right,
everybody.
which is misguided,
forever.
sure.
It's not even, which I get it. Yeah, I do get it. There's a lot of weird morality stuff to that, but we get into it later if we want.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, Fuko starts to, really up the recruitment pitch and say, "Look, we got this. We're gonna get the team together. We're gonna get this fucking disc, and we're gonna save the world. Trust me, I'm good for it." So anyway, we cut to, I forget his name already, Mr. Billy, who is confirmed blind. We're still not sure.
Yeah,
if he
I'm
was
still not
blind in the
sure if he
previous
was
movie.
always
We're not-
blind.
We didn't do the research.
Yeah,
yet, but,
no, we didn't.
I don't know. I think it's more entertaining this way.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
But
I mean,
still
it's not a world
Yeah.
breaker in my eyes.
It sure isn't. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
If this was My Hero Academia, though, oh no, I would never let that.
I would
slide.
have different standards.
There would be a completely different rhetoric, and yeah. Well, let's just be happy it's not that. So yeah, we get back to Billy, and he says, "I can hear 2 types of planes," which I know that's right because he definitely ain't fucking see them. And he says, "Not only our enemy guys jumping into the fray, but also our employers." Wow, Billy was naive as well. I thought he would have knew better. He said, "Now both camps are carpet bombing the area. Damn it!" Right. So he finds Teller, and he's trying to ask him what happened. And he's the guy. He's trying to. He can't. What was his ability again?
He can't tell him.
Communicate.
It's untell.
On what?
Untell.
I couldn't tell him nothing. What? Can you talk to somebody without telling them something?
He can't communicate in any way.
No. But I'm just wondering, like, is there a way to talk to people without telling somebody something
No, because you're telling somebody something.
at all times?
Yeah, when you're speaking, you're telling someone something.
Even if you already know it.
Like this podcast, we're telling people.
We're telling people our thoughts.
Yeah, telling people our thoughts. We're telling.
This shit is crazy.
My mind is blown.
Wow. Undead Unluck.
So philosophical.
This shit is crazy though, no cap. The places it takes your mind, especially when you smoke weed. Or just a generally creative, curious person, for those that don't.
You know what I want to do?
Yeah.
I want to get the drop. It was just like smoke weed every day.
Yeah, and leave it exclusively for this one.
Yeah, for Undead Unluck.
For the series. Yeah.
We tried to pontificate on what the abilities, the philosophical meaning behind abilities.
Right. Anyway, back to Telly not telling Billy what the problem is. And Billy, to make things worse is that he can't even see the gestures that this guy is making on his face.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably really just lost. He's like, shell shock, nah.
Mm-hmm.
So we lost contact with him before the bombing. Interesting. Anyway, he just starts talking to him. He's telling him all the things. It's like he can kind of guess what he's trying to gesture to him physically. And yeah, he's like, don't rush. Just tell me. I don't need words or machines to understand. I'll ask one question at a time, but first, relax your breathing. This is so funny. A question and answer method using heartbeats and body temperature. This skill of Billy's is one thing that Intel can't negate. Yeah, that, we'll talk about it later. So, okay, so he's able to communicate with him through his body temperature and heartbeat.
The whole situation.
Billy is lit. Like that, I'm not gonna we can crack all the jokes we want, but he has 2 negation abilities now.
What's the second?
Unreal blind person.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, that would be a negation ability, I guess.
Yeah, like Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
Matt Murdock's a negator. So anyway. All right, so he says, all right, that settles it. I'll head over to the disc too. So yeah, they're all about to converge to the disc, and Billy's letting him know, like, look, they figure there's a third party in the fray, and that we're gonna see what's good with these guys. Don't worry about it. So we go back to Foucault's group. They say the relic we believe is at the end of the path of the ruins. Damn, they gotta go through that big ass fucking battlefield with napalm striking everywhere.
Yeah.
At least they have people with barriers and shields and shit. This is actually a very believable situation of a small group of people being able to accomplish an incredible task of going across a napalm-stricken battlefield.
Yeah.
Speaking of, aircraft starts flying over them. They put their shields up to guard. Unbreakable is so fucking clutch, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really clutch. I'm glad we got to see more of their ability in this second loop, since I guess the girl that had the ability before kind of came on towards the end in that spring arc, and then after the spring arc, everything really accelerated. Different times. So, right. So your boy Undercrease is loading up his Gatling gun. He's like, going ahead. We're gonna handle this here. We're gonna spray all these motherfuckers out the sky. I'm gonna kill all these guys to obtain peace. And Fugo's cool with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Isn't she like supposed to be really against death?
Not this time. Well, to be
No,
fair, it doesn't look like he's shooting them with anything lethal. They look like they're just getting knocked out.
Yeah, but she didn't make a point at all. Like,
Oh, it's rubber
that's fine.
bullets. They gave him rubber bullets.
Did I not catch that?
I just saw it in the little panel here before you start shooting everybody.
Oh, nice.
And because, you know,
Wow,
his
they thought
abilities.
about everything.
Good for him.
Cool. So he's busting off rubber bullets. You've got Undraw with her sword that she doesn't draw, sending a crescent moon slashes out into the forest, clearing all the trees. Pretty smart,
Yeah.
you know, so that the snipers and can get to them and shit throughout the night.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone's like, "Oh, Creed, we got a little present for Fuko." Oh, right, that's what he talked. Oh, I did miss that. Yeah, I did miss that. So starts letting it fucking rip into the forest and clears them all out. But as they start eviscerating their forces, we see a large UFO, which is essentially disc rising off in the horizon. And we have Billy saying, "Let me have a look at your true motives."
True motives.
So okay, well, this war not about to be. That was the end of the chapter. So okay, like I said, this was my RGC, and purely off the fact that I thought this chapter was really fun. Like,
yeah,
Jujutsu Kaisen is always dope and for the plot to set up, but it just was a really quick chapter, and it didn't have too many things pop off for me compared to this chapter. Like I had such a good time that I apparently skipped over quite a few details while reading this. I treated this shit like it was Bleach or something. Anyway, you have any thoughts, Chris?
Yeah, I really like this chapter as well. It's just seeing everybody using their abilities together is always fun, because these abilities are so specific and unique in a way. They're always fun to watch, and the turning over of Creed is pretty cool. I enjoyed that. Billy finding a way to communicate with Tella despite the fact that he can't, through this wild ability to just like use his pulse and body temperature, is pretty cool and pretty creative. And Billy's supposed to be like that guy, so I just believe he could do anything.
Well said.
Yeah, I thought this was cool, and I'm excited to see what comes of this, because Disc is a very vague artifact, I guess. So I'm wondering what it actually does outside of just float in the air.
Well, they say it's a weapon.
Yeah, Fugo seems very sure that this war nonsense is about to be over. He's like, I'm about to end this war single-handedly. It's over. But yeah, I don't have much else to say. I thought it was a lot of fun. Any rebuttals, Josh?
Right. No rebuttals, but just a few things I wanted to talk about. So, another thing I really enjoy about the second loop, as far as like us getting more access to these negators, is how they're fighting. Because in the beginning it was all about the characters fighting against these negators and how their abilities can, counter each other's. And what we've been seeing so far is, a lot of negators working together to, create solutions, and it's just really nice to see. It's like it's like this team that's plugging in elements, like, or they could leave some people out. For the people that remember Jonathan Hickman's Avengers, I remember when they had this, what they called the Avengers machine, which was like this circular graph, and it showed like where certain members were at, how available they were, which they kept certain core members together. It just kind of reminded me of that. Like they're gonna have this whole network of negators that they could put together a unit to especially address the situation. I don't think we're gonna get a lot of it, but I'm excited to see more of that unfold as the series goes. The way they were working together to stop on decreasement. They took out 3 tanks. They took out like 5 tanks.
Yeah.
That's not light.
No, not at all.
And they survived an assault from the forest and from the sky. That's really impressive stuff.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
I also just realized that it was actually Gina that lifted Disc from the ground.
Did she?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even know.
You
That's
could see her
crazy.
like
Oh
using
yeah,
her hand.
she does say something like. Did she move it? I don't know.
Couldn't say anything, or maybe she's holding.
That would be
I think she
crazy.
lifted it from the ground because she's right under that shit.
Well, Billy is riding it right now. Like he's on top of it. So
Yeah,
maybe Billy activated it.
maybe. I don't know how he would have. Maybe just being on it and knowing that it's there means you can activate it.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Okay.
All right, but that's that. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was Undead Unluck, everybody, and that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you can find me at the Chris Hospital on Twitter and Instagram, Josh at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at New Gem City Josh on Twitter, Brian at B.ESP on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to catch him when he's streaming video games, you can check out his Twitch at twitch.tv/itspunchline. Email the show itself at New Gem City on Twitter and Instagram. Please do let us know what you guys think. Your questions, any thoughts that you have on the chapters. Let us know. You could follow us wherever you use social media at New Gem City, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're pretty much all on all those platforms. Please subscribe to the YouTube. We're trying to figure out a video version for next week, so we'll be back on there momentarily. But until that time, please continue to like and share videos and keep us alive on the algorithm, because I'm sure it absolutely hates us by now. So hit us up on that. If you prefer audio podcasts, though, hey, no shame in subscribing to the audio version on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Pandora, wherever you listen to podcasts. I'll take any kind of support at this point. But yeah, thank you guys for bearing with us on these audio only episodes. We will be back in full force soon, hopefully. And yeah, we'll see you soon. We'll see you next week. Stay safe, New Gem citizens.
Peace out, guys. Thanks for listening.